Ciao bella! We're learning a little Italian on set today, so I'm going to share it with you, and that's about all I picked up. So thank you so much. So in our two other videos, we talked about breath work as like the foundation for any type of yoga, meditation, mindfulness practice. And then we practiced with a few different mindfulness meditations in our last video. So this third one, which you can mix and match it as you please, is going to be about movement. So this movement specifically, the sequence is designed for really low impact. That's all levels. So some things will be intense at some point. They're not going to be necessarily easy, but it's an all level practice. So we're going to talk through some different modifications throughout. But we're going to go ahead and start with one of my favorite things to do. And so this first section is an option that we can do in bed. Before you even get up in the morning or as you're winding down for the night, as just kind of like a gentle, relaxing movement for your body to kind of just set you up for success to get up for the day or go to bed, obviously using breath as one of the tools. So we're gonna go ahead and start. So before that, we're going to go through some more sequences that we'll need a mat for. So like the first part will be stuff we can do in bed, and then I'll kind of cue where this is the kind of thing that we're going to need to be on a really sturdy floor and a yoga mat. We're going to do a little subsequence to build energy for when you're like slumped in the day, and then the end is going to be perfect for when you like get home from work or you get home from a long day before bed, and it's going to be really restorative. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to start with bending our knees, keeping our feet flat on the earth, and we're just gonna lay all the way flat on our backs. So adjust yourself as needed, get comfortable. And tuck your shoulder blades in towards your spine and let your shoulders kind of rest against the earth. You can rest your hands on either side of you, or you can bring your hands to your heart and your stomach to feel the rhythm of your breath come on in. So we'll take a big clearing breath in through our nose. Exhale, sigh it out. And just start to let your breath be what it is. And begin to scan your body from the crown of your head all the way down to your tippy toes. So just kind of check in. What do you feel on the crown of your head? Your forehead, are you holding any tension there? Your eyebrows, your mouth and jaw, maybe do some ha-oh, ah-oh, ah-ohs. Kind of loosen up any tension holding there. Take a big breath in and fill up to your heart. Fill up to your stomach. And then feel it as it goes. Check in with your shoulders. Holding any tension here, wiggle out anything in your spine, your stomach. What's she doing down there? Your pelvis. Send breath all the way down to your hips. Exhale, let it go. Your thighs. Check in with your knees. How are they feeling? Maybe kick your leg out a little bit. Release anything that you might be crusting up in there. Rotate your ankles, wiggle your toes, and just kind of check in to see how they feel. Take a big breath in. Exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Just let them fall all the way down. Yeah, so Serena here was laying down flat. That's perfectly fine. And so rest your knees like all the way down. Let them both kind of hit the earth. And just stay here for 3 breaths. And then inhale your knees back to center, feet flat. And then exhale your knees over to the left. So you can rest your knees on blocks. Mine just hit them. But I like to take my knees personally down to the floor. It feels good to me. 3 breaths here. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, drop them over to the right. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, drop them over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And I like to take my arms out like a cactus to bring a little more stability into my torso. And then you can do this as many times as you want. So if this feels good to literally do this motion for 15 minutes, do that. Do whatever feels good. We're going to take one more breath in. Exhale, side them over to the left. And then take your right leg, your top leg, stretch it out long. It's okay if you touch someone else, so you're just going to set your right leg on the floor. And what you can do, you have a few variations here. You can just let it rest gently. You can prop it up on a block. Or if you're super flexible, you can like reach up and you can grab your toe and just kind of let it float and use the resistance of your body. Hey Genevieve, how you doing over here?
Just getting a stretch.
Getting a stretch on. I'm touching Genevieve. We asked for consent. It's great. So thank you so much for letting me demo on your body.
Absolutely.
And I'm just gonna stretch here. So you can do whatever feels good. Serena's over here chilling because she wants to chill. I'm over here increasing the intensity. So you can bring your foot up closer to your face to increase intensity. That's way too much for me. I'm gonna take my leg back down to the ground and stay here for as long as you like. We're gonna stay here for 2 more breaths. Then we're going to inhale slowly our knees back to center. And then exhale, drop our knees over to the right. And then stretch our left leg out long. And I'm just going to rest my foot here. So this is our psoas muscle group. It's like this thigh, hip, all of this good stuff. So the longer that you stay, the more that you're going to feel it. And options to, even with your foot on the ground, bring your foot up closer to, and just kind of slide it up the floor closer to your head. And this feels really great for runners. It feels really great for people who are on their feet all day. It feels really great, honestly, for everyone. But maybe not. So we're going to stay for one more big breath in. Exhale, side out. Slowly inhale, bring your knees back to center. And then take your knees apart and keep the soles of your feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana. So I like to take my palms on my thighs or wherever that your hands land and just kind of slowly push one side down at a time while providing a little bit of resistance on the other side. So you can kind of rock back and forth, or you can simply stay here, rest your hands on your thighs. This is a really nice reset. So here we can check back in. Are our shoulders up and back? We can lift the front of our pelvis up towards our ribs and make our tailbone curl up to lengthen our low back. And then take your right hand to your right knee and then inhale. Bring your knee up to your chest. And just hug it into the side of your body. And if bringing it in straight on feels better, then great. I like to bring mine to the side of my rib cage. Kind of play around with whatever works. I like to roll my ankles out, crack my toes, wiggle around. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release your feet back together. And then inhale. Exhale, grab your left hand to your left knee and bring it into your side body. Again, I like to wiggle around my ankles, crack my toes. Big breath in. Exhale, release your feet back together. And then take your knees, close them like a book, and then hug your knees into center. And this is kind of the tail end section of, our in-bed series. So what I like to do here, if I'm still in bed in the morning, is I like to say a little mantra or a little affirmation. So what I'm gonna say to myself is I am strong, I am beautiful, I am capable, and I'm in charge. Kiss both knees or blow them kisses. Mwah, mwah. Roll up and down, side to side, and roll on out of bed. You can sit up straight. So from here, this is where you're gonna want, if you wanna continue on with something, or if you wanna do this, extend this series long. I love doing that for like spending 15 minutes in bed doing that, and then I'm up and I'm good to go. On mornings where I have more time, I'll then at some point maybe take a break and roll it onto my mat, and I'm gonna come into tabletop. So this is a really great time to like hike up your pants, adjust yourself. So at tabletop, you want your shoulders right over your wrists, and you want your knees right under your hips. So you wanna have like these gorgeous 90-degree angles. So I'm gonna take a look at my neighbors because they're there, and I'm gonna say, y'all look good. How do I look? Am I in line?
Aligned.
Aligned, they say. Aligned.
Ready to fire.
Ready to fire. So take one breath in. Exhale, side out. And then inhale, curl your tailbone up. Look up. And then exhale, curl your tailbone under. Arch your back like a cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And after a few of these, I like to come back to center and inhale, cow. And really press the earth away, like lift your fingers up, press down with the palms of your hands, and then inhale and hold for as long as it feels good. Maybe wiggle around a little bit. And then exhale, press down into the palms of your hands and arch your back. Press your mid back up to the ceiling and hold for as long as this feels good. I love the way this feels. And then inhale, come back to tabletop. So we'll take 3 more breaths in cat-cows. And again, you can do this for as long as you want. Cat-cows feel good for as long as you want them to. So inhale, curl your tailbone up first. Exhale, curl your tailbone under. Let that guide the rest of your spine. Arch your back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come back to tabletop. Shake it out. Wiggle around. So next we're gonna move into thread the needle. So I like to inhale my right hand up. Exhale, thread it through, and you can rest on your shoulder. This might not be accessible to you, and that's totally fine. This has a lot to do with like muscles in the mid back and in your chest. So if this doesn't work, then you can keep going cat-cows until we move on. So you wanna rest all of your weight on your shoulder. So shake your head no to make sure that you're not resting any tension in your neck. And then what tends to happen is we slide our hips over to the right. So just kind of put your left hand on your hip and move them back to center. Yeah. And so option to leave your hand here on the left side as an anchor, or if you don't feel much tension and you have access, you can inhale, your left hand up, and then bring it to the small of your back for a little bit more of a chest opener. So we'll stay here for one more breath. Exhale, ha. Inhale, left arm up. Place it back down. Come up in a tabletop and inhale our right arm up. Exhale, tabletop. Yes. So opposite side, inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through. And same thing here. My hips went over to the right, so I'm just going to take them, move them back to center. And I'm going to use my right arm as an anchor, but option like Serena to come up and bring it to the small of your back if that feels great. These gentle twists really help with like digestion. So this is just such a simple, easy twist. And this helps for anything really in your gut area. It helps your bladder, helps your digestion, all sorts of good things. Really great to do first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Bring your right hand back to the mat if you haven't already. And then inhale your left arm back up to the sky. Exhale, sink it down. So then we're going to head into a shoulder belly stretch. So we're just going to kick our legs back and come right flat onto our bellies. You can bring your blocks to the front if they're in your way, but we might be using them as head pillows. So take your arms out to a T. And so what you're going to want to do is kind of rock up onto this right shoulder, bend your left knee, and take it as your foot as an anchor, either behind or in front of your landed knee. So I like mine behind. And so I'm going to grab my block, and you can use a pillow, a blanket, whatever, and use it as a little head pillow. So this might be really intense as it is, which is perfectly fine. I can certainly feel it. An option is to inhale, reach up with your left hand, and then exhale, bring your left arm and kind of float it and gauge where your right hand is. So you can just bring it back, and that activates the left side and opens it up. If you have straps, you can bring your straps together to kind of go in for a hand clasp, or just hang out right here. And if this is too much, bring your left hand just gently down to your side. So you can hold this for as long as you like. Sometimes your fingers might go numb, and that's perfectly fine. Just gently take a big breath in. And then switch sides. Exhale, come back to that T on your belly. Move your block if it's in your way. And then roll up onto your left side. So I'm going to bring my block back as a head pillow because it feels nice. Inhale, right arm up, if this feels good to you. Exhale, let it drop below. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Any variation, if this is too much, bring your hand down. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, come right back into your T. And then kind of just push up, back to tabletop. And this is a great sequence. This is something that you can do at any time in the morning. If you have the ability to do this at work, by all means, head on into a private room to do it. So the next sequence we're gonna do is start to build a little bit of heat. So from our tabletop, we can come right back there. We're gonna curl our toes under and head into downward facing dog. So feet hips distance apart, hands about mat width distance apart. And I like to pedal it out. So you bring like your left heel to the earth, bend your right knee, and just kind of like paddle and pedal. And you really want to press down the 4 corners of your hands. Lift your fingers slightly. And the wider you take your hands, the more access you'll have to press your chest in towards your thighs
Lift your hips up high to the ceiling and then drop your heels down low. And you can keep pedaling it out. And sometimes this enough, just doing a downward dog, gives you all the energy you need for a midday slump. So go for it. And if this is all you need, then continue on with your day. But if you want a little extra time, take a big breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Find stillness. And then walk your hands back to your feet for ragdoll. So feet are still hip distance apart. You can grab opposite elbows. You can sway side to side. I like to do shoulder rolls because I hold a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders, so especially if you work at a computer, that's great. And sometimes I just like to let my hands dangle. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Heel toe your feet together and then slowly rise on your inhale, one vertebra at a time, all the way up to standing. From standing, Tadasana, high mountain pose. Exhale your hands to heart center. Take a few nice cleansing breaths. I'm already sweating, so if you are, then great. And if you want to keep going, inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. So I'm going to turn my side so you can kind of see. So Serena, bring your shoulders up and back, yep, and activate your arms. So don't just let them dangle, kind of do something where you're like in motion. So this is how we sometimes do halfway lift. We just kind of lift up a little bit. Shoulders up and back on your inhale. Like think about stretching your tailbone forward and your head forward to like make a nice long line. Rotate back, halfway lift, and we're gonna do a fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands forward for high plank. This is a lot of energy being built up here. So we're gonna stack our heels right over our toes. So take a look back and make sure that's like basically straight up and down. And press the earth away from you. This takes a lot of strength to do. So if you're on your knees, that's great. I'm gonna demo on my knees. And this still builds a lot of energy. I'm sweating, y'all, I'm sweating. So from here, rotate your elbow creases forward. Keep your elbows tucked into your side. Lower down halfway for low plank. Inhale, push up, curl your toes to the tops. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So that whole sequence, the high to low plank, is called chaturanga. So they're saying in downward dog, we're gonna do one more abbreviated sun salutation so you can kind of see more of the chaturanga options. So we're all gonna roll up into high plank. Tuck your elbows into your sides. Rotate your elbow creases forward to keep them there, and then lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're gonna do a modified version. If you can't push up and you're doing like the worm where you kind of lay on the earth and come back up, that's totally fine. But you can start to build the strength in order to do the elbows tucked in because it's better for your shoulders over a long period of time. So we're gonna do a modified version. So we're gonna start with high plank. Bring our knees, chest, chin. Bring your hands in front of your face and we're gonna push up, baby cobra. So I'm not really pushing a lot with my hands, I'm just kind of lifting up with my chest. Exhale, back down. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog.
So I'm going to do the traditional chaturanga. I'm gonna have Serena over here do everything on her knees. So she'll do a high plank on her knees to low plank to upward facing to downward facing dog. And I'm gonna have Genevieve here do the modified chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, inhale baby cobra, and downward facing dog. Does that sound good?
I think so, yes.
Do you wanna try it again? Let's do
Everything but downward dog is on the knees?
Yeah, so you're gonna do everything on your knees besides downward dog, and you're gonna do a traditional upward facing dog.
Okay.
And you're gonna do a baby cobra.
We started high plank.
Okay, and everything else.
Yeah. So let's go over that again. So we're gonna go start in downward facing dog. We're gonna roll up high plank. Exhale low plank. Inhale upward facing. Exhale downward facing dog. So let's do knees, chest, chin all together. How about that? So we're gonna roll up high plank. We're gonna drop our knees, drop our chest, drop our chin. We're gonna do baby cobra. Hi. Exhale back down, downward facing dog. Push up, push back. And then we'll do a classic chaturanga high to low on our knees. So we're gonna roll up to high plank. We're gonna drop our knees right away. We're gonna lower down halfway. We're gonna push up, upward facing. And then we're gonna exhale downward facing dog. Whoo! And let's come down to our knees, take a rest, because I'm sweating. And I'm on video right now, and I don't think that's a good look, but it's all right, because that is what this is for. We're building energy right now. That is life, baby. That is life. So building up heat. So like, I'm at work, I'm feeling slumpy. I need to get away from my desk, get away from people, and I need to take 5 minutes to build some energy for the rest of the day. You can increase the intensity or not to get into this. And this is how you're gonna build heat in your body. Great. So we're gonna move next into a little bit of a restoration. So before we get into the restoration, we're gonna take all these different modified chaturangas and we're just gonna complete a sun A salutation. So after we complete this sun salutation, you can pause the video and do as many as you want. And you can isolate this by itself as the only thing that you do in order to build energy, and you're going to definitely feel it. So let's go ahead and stand up. About center of our mats. We're gonna inhale Tadasana, mountain pose, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, high plank. So press your hands down. So do any version of the chaturanga that you like. I'm gonna do high to low plank, upward facing to downward facing dog. And then you can hop or step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, step back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in, one breath out. Hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, mountain pose. Exhale your hands to heart center. And that's it. That's a sun salutation. So you can do as many or as little of those as you want. I like to even not skip out the chaturangas if I'm wearing a uniform at work and just do inhale up, exhale down, inhale halfway lift, exhale fold, inhale rise mountain pose. Build energy, get a little glisten, get a little glow, and get on with the rest of your day, all right? So next up, we have some restore, so we can go ahead and take a seat. And this is some really gentle, lovely, easy, breezy things. So we have two options here. We have our yoga blocks, And if you don't have yoga blocks at home, don't worry about buying them. You can use so many different things. You can get them pretty inexpensive online or wherever. But we can take our yoga blocks and we just simply lay down on our backs. You can take one or both and you just bring it underneath your tush, like your low sacrum, and you definitely want it to be comfortable. So if it hurts, move it somewhere else. And so you simply lift your legs up to the sky. And I like to hug my legs in together and flex my feet down towards my face to get a little extra energy going and to activate the legs. Shoulders back into the spine, tuck them in. And you can do this exact same thing without a block up against the wall. So you just sit your tush against the wall and then remove a block, and then you just have this lovely restorative flow. You can sit here for 20 minutes, you can sit here for 30 seconds. But what this does is it just energetically brings all of this blood circulation back up to your head. So just be here, close your eyes, take a big breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's do 3 more big breaths. Last one. And if this feels good to you, pause the video and stay here for as long as you like. If not, we're gonna go ahead and move on to a little more restorative. So bend your knees gently, bring a foot down, lift your hips up, remove your block, and come flat on your back. Hug your knees into your chest, rock up and down, side to side. And then come back up into seated. So this is a really lovely hip opener that we can do. It's called deer pose. This is a yin yoga specific pose. So what you do is you just bend both knees and you take, bend both knees and you just take them out. And so it's like a sitting deer. And so I already feel a lot going on right here. And the goal is to bring both of your sit bones, so like not like your fleshy butt, but your actual hip bones, like your sit bones, onto the floor. So what you can do is take a block and you can just kind of stick it in any space. If you have a blanket, a small pillow, maybe like a yoga strap or something else, you can stick it under there to fill in what other space it is. Or you can sit on the block altogether if that helps bring both sit bones on. It's a little too much for me. So inhale, nice long straight spine, shoulders up and back. And you can play around here. This is it. So if this feels good, if this feels fine, you can stay here. Other options, I like to kind of play with maybe a little forward fold. So you can come onto your forearms if that's accessible, or grab your blocks and you can kind of come down to your blocks. And you can also inhale back up, and then you can fold over to one side. So I feel a lot of really nice gentle twist, and this helps me anchor this leg, my right leg, back to the earth. And just for fun, just for giggles, we can see what it's like to take a little fold over here. This is about as much of range of motion as I have. Just a gentle twist over. I'm not trying to like pull my body over because my hip is preventing me from doing that. So you can play around in any of these folds straight up, and you can stay for as long as you like. So take a big inhale back to center, and then switch your legs. Deer, opposite side. Bend both knees, ground both sit bones onto the earth, and you'll know. So my left butt cheek is risen. So I'm going to take a block, I'm going to fill in some space. And maybe it helps to grab a block and put it under your opposite knee in order to get the left side down. That just helped me a ton. So inhale, long, straight spine, shoulders up and back. And then play around. You can do a cute forward fold. You can walk your hands over to the right for a gorgeous little side twist. And stay in any of these places for as long as you like. Certain sensations will come up, and they might not be as pleasant. And if you just continue to breathe, you can ask yourself, is this something that's permanent because of what I'm doing, or is this something that's causing tension that's going to release the longer I breathe and stay into it? And if something hurts and is painful, stop it. You don't have to sit here just because you're watching this video and I'm doing this. You can do whatever you need. So play with all your different twists, if that feels good, and if not, straight spine up. One more big breath in. Exhale, side out. Stretch both legs out in front of you. So next up is cow face pose, and I like to sit on a block for this. So grab your block, grab a pillow, grab whatever type of bolster to get your hips up. And the reason I like to sit up like this is because it creates more space in my hips, and so I get more out of the pose. It's not like a crutch, it's a tool for me to get more access into this lovely stretch. So we're gonna do our left leg under, so you bend your left knee and bring your other foot back by your hips. And then you take your top leg over, and you're really gonna have to fidget a little bit with this. Sometimes for people it's more comfortable to have your feet come forward or come back. So in an ideal world, our knees would be stacked right over each other. Mine don't look like they are. You can grab a block, you can put them under here. If that makes more sense, you can bring them in between your knees. But I'm feeling a lot right now. I feel a lot in my hip flexors. And like deer, you can take so many different options. First one, keeping both sit bones planted. You can take your hands behind you, fingers pointed back, take a big breath in, and just let the crown of your head go back. And using your hands to keep your torso pushed forward, long spine. Inhale back up to center. And just like deer, same thing, you can do a forward fold. You can grab your other block and rest your forearms on it. Rest your head on your knee. You can walk your hands over to either side for a little twist. And wherever you go, keep breathing. Because the key to this restoration sequence is to breathe, calm your nervous system, open up your hips from walking all day, sitting at a desk all day, and bring circulation back to your body. So there are a few really cute ways to switch to the other side. One of them is take your hands over to the left, pop your booty up, pow, 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 and switch. Or you can literally just bring your legs forward and switch. So now, left leg on top, right leg on bottom. And this is a lot. It doesn't, like it looks like maybe I'm having a contortionist and maybe yours looks more like this, and it doesn't matter. It's all about increasing flexibility and feeling good in your body. So if you don't look like this, don't worry about it. As long as it feels like you're doing something good in your body, all you have to do is take a deep breath in, sigh it out, and listen. I feel a lot in my left hip flexor right now. But from my practice, I know that this is doing good. And if it feels super uncomfortable and you sit here for another 30 seconds and it is screaming at you to stop, then stop. Ease up, gentle out, bring your legs forward in front of you. Same thing here, you can do like a gorgeous forward fold.
You can rest your forehead on your knee, whatever feels good. You can take a twist to the left, a twist to the right. Hold each as long as you like. Take a big breath in, come back to center. Exhale, sigh it out. Ah. Remove your blocks out of your way. Sit up. Get your block out from under your tush. And bring both feet out in front of you with your knees bent. So this is called caterpillar. This is another yin yoga pose. And so you sit here and you kind of counterintuitively, you just kind of arch your back and slump. And I like to wrap my arms around my legs and just rest my head in between my knees or right on top of my knees. And if that's not accessible to you, you can take a seated butterfly and you can just lean forward as far as your body will let you go. But not to the point where you're bringing and you're stretching and you're doing all these Olympic moves. Just think really gentle, easy sitting. So seated butterfly or caterpillar. And what you're doing here is you're like opening up your mid back and you're just giving yourself like a gentle, easy, breezy squeeze, showing yourself some self-love. And again, you can stay here for as long as you want. Just breathe big breaths in. Exhale, sigh it out. Big breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. One more big breath in. Exhale, start to walk your feet forward. If you can keep your bind, keep it. If not, let it go. And then inhale, come to seated. And then exhale, come all the way back down to your back. We're going to do our final series, all on our back, so we'll do a little supine twist. So we have a few options here. We can bend both knees, cross our left leg over our right, and then just let our weight take us over to the right. The goal here is to keep both shoulder blades planted on the earth. So you can use your block as support. You can get it out of your way. Take your arms out to a T or all the way out long. Hi. And then send your gaze over your left side. Easy breezy, big breaths in. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, knees back to center, uncross. Cross your right leg over your left and let that weight take you all the way down. Keep your right shoulder blade planted on the earth. Arms out to a T. Send your gaze over to the right. Hi. Three big breaths. Inhale, knees back to center. Uncross. Bring your knees into your chest. Hug it in. Kiss both knees or blow them kisses. Mwah, darling. Mwah. Rock up and down, side to side. And this is a great opportunity to say a little mantra back to yourself. So if you started with something in the beginning, you can end. So I'm going to say, I am strong. Mwah. I am beautiful. Mwah. I am capable. Mwah. And I'm in charge. Mwah. Hugging real nice and tight. Rock back and forth if that feels nice. Take a big breath in. Exhale, let go of your hands. Let go of your legs. Take your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Tuck your shoulder blades in towards your spine. And then lift the front of your pelvis in towards your ribs. Tailbone down. You can take your hands by your side. You can take your hands over your head. And before we go into Shavasana, we'll take 3 breaths. Inhale. Hold at the top. Sip in a little bit more. Exhale, let it go. Hold at the bottom. Push out a little more. Inhale. Hold at the top. Sip in. Exhale, let it go. Push out a little more. Inhale in. Hold. Sip in. Exhale, release everything. Release control of your breath. Release control of your body. And take the next several minutes, as long as you like, to rest in Shavasana, corpse pose. Close your eyes. If you'd like more time, you can pause, keep going. For the 3 of us, we're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Roll over to the right side. From Shavasana corpse pose, we lay in this fetal position as a sign of rebirth. Like each breath we take, each moment, each mindfulness meditation, each movement is a new opportunity to take control of our lives, to be less reactive and more proactive, to change the course in which we're going, or to pick up speed if we know exactly where we want to go. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Slowly push up into seated. I'm going to give myself a little boost. Inhale, hands over your head. Exhale, your hands to heart center. This is it. This is a movement practice for you to implement in isolations. As a whole, if that's something that you have time for and would like to implement. So feel free to take any chunk, pieces, or the whole thing and use it as a tool belt for you to be more mindful, to be more relaxed, to reduce stress, at any point in your life. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for our team for checking us out and being a part of this production for you. And I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.